We are blessed today to have Brother James Paine with us. Are you from Marina, right? Okay, all right. Probably most of you here know James in one form or another. Probably your connections with Tahoe Family Encampment is where that comes from, but he's had association with Tahoe Family Encampment for a long time, and I know he wants to share some things with us today, some updates about that, so I'd encourage you to give your attention to James.
Well, thank you for allowing me to come over. I was just over down the road. Can you hear me now? There's a green light, right? Okay. Never used to being wired up before. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am a God-fearing man. I'm married to a beautiful wife named Cindy, have 2 daughters, Danielle and Michaela. I'm okay to walk here, right? Sounds like workman's comp. So, how I got into the church, raise your hand if you remember the Joy Bus. All right. Okay. Well, first thing I want to do my disclaimer. My disclaimer, I am not one of the speakers at the Tahoe Family Encampment. So don't judge the encampment on me, okay? I'm the gentleman, the operation director that puts the tents up and makes things move around and feed people, et cetera, et cetera. Any of they get moves, that's what I do. I'm like that, the guy behind the curtain on The Wizard of Oz, do not look back. Let Carrie be the clown. The director. Also, I am not even close to the speaker that we have over in Marina. When you have a chance, come over and visit Trevor. I know he would love to see you all there. And thank you very much for allowing us to have him. So I was on a kid. It lived in a very small town called Livingston. And Livingston Church of Christ had the Joy Bus. My mother had opportunity to get rid of 5 kids on Wednesday night so she could go play pool. I'm going to be honest, she also drank a little at the bar too. Well, I fell in love with the church family. And that's the family I'm going to be saying it multiple times the family of the church means a lot to me. Because we are stronger when we fellowship with one another. When we are sharpening up our tools together by going into our homes. Now, I know COVID kind of messed us up a little with the whole thing of you could not go in your home, you could not go visit people. Well, that kind of messed us up at Tahoe too. Because we missed that one 2020. We skipped it because of COVID. And then I think the Lord blessed us after that because the next year, we was ready to go and do half camp again. And then the 7-day, who we were borrowing their stuff, renting their stuff, paying them money to put their tents up. I always like to put that in. We paid them to put the tents up. Said, no, we don't feel comfortable. We don't think we're going to do it. I went to the committee and said, forget this. We'll have tents like we did at Tahoe. Yosemite, and not have any tents. Just show up. And the Lord will provide us some sun. They all laughed at me, but I said, it will happen if we do it. Well, that first Sunday, that first encampment we came back in 2021, no rain. We were blessed. The second time we came, we finally got to go back at Camp Richardson. He gave us a little bit of rain, but it was never during service. So that, he protects us out there. We wanted to have the encampment to come back, and I wanted to have it where we have the ownership of the encampment. Amen? Where it's no longer the 7-day is telling us what we can and what we can't do. We have now owned all of our equipment. Everything except chairs. I apologize. I'm working on that. But so you have to bring your own chair. But all of our sound system, the tents, all the wood we had to put our stage up, we own that, and we're so proud of that. But unfortunately, with this COVID, I don't know if it hurts you guys, but it seems like the church is not going to functions like the encampment anymore. They're slowing back. We're losing our numbers. Family, I'm telling you, we got to start bringing our friends and our loved ones back to the Tahoe family encampment. Not just because I want it, because I love putting tents up. Right, brother? Amen. All right. It's because we have to fellowship together. Fellowship is so important. I see all you guys are here now, and there's not even a potluck today, and you guys still came. Amen. You know, it's the fellowship of working together is so important. So let's get into my little sermon here. I want you to know, I ran for 2 state offices. I had no problem with speaking a couple weeks ago in front of the Republican Party. If you're not a Republican, talk later. I'll change you later. But I had no problem speaking up there of 3,000 people about political stuff. But when I come to the church, I feel so inadequate of doing this. So please, when I mess up, don't throw rocks, throw love, okay? So my history is plain and simple. The Tahoe family, the Joy Bus picked me up. I fell in love with the church, kept on going. My mother was, we lived in a small town. She was the town drunk. It was a small town. Everybody knew Carolyn. Everybody knew that where she's going to do. She knew that she had 5 kids from 4 different men. They knew that. We had the shame of that. But when I went to church, I didn't have that shame. I was just a man of Christ, or a child of Christ. When I was baptized, I'll never forget the time when the first time I went, I waited up that Sunday night to tell my mother that I was baptized. I was so excited. Stood up there. She came home 3 o'clock in the morning after the bar. I'm like, Mom, I was baptized. Oh, you think you're better than me? No, but I was baptized. I'm fired up. I'm so happy that I have this new family that loves me. I'm going to make some people cry. I apologize, but you know what? I'm over it myself. She took the time, which multiple times she used to beat me, but she took that hanger, what she loved, and just beating my back. Now, Brother Hooper knows I'm not a smart person, so I grabbed the one bunk bed and the other bunk bed, and I stood there. If Jesus could get beat, I could get beat. Wasn't the right thing to say to a drunk person who had anger issues. But that day changed my life. Not because I became a Christian. That was one of the best things. The second thing is my older sister threw me out the window. Thank God it wasn't a second story. And I walked 15 miles to my adopted parents, who I call my parents now. I walked into their house, climbed into the bedroom. Mom woke up. Hey, Brent, do you want pancakes or waffles? And Brent goes, I want pancakes. I said, I want waffles. When did you show up? I don't know. I just got here. Never left. Now, if you ask my dad, they say, well, how did you get Jimmy? I don't know. He showed up, we fed him, and he just never left. I never left because the Lord gave me what I needed. Was a home, a loving home, a church that I know that when I was doing something wrong, I'll never forget this. I had one of the elders. Yes, we all make mistakes. And this elder came up to me and said, James, I need to put you in the car. We need to have a conversation. And I'm sitting there and he goes, and all he said is, why'd you do it? And I just put my head down. I'm like, well, you put shame on the church. Why'd you do it? And I'm like, I don't know. That's love. Were you going to come on? He didn't beat me. He just said, we love you. Why did you do it? Let's change your ways. That's the gospel of teaching everybody Everybody's invited. Anybody's invited, and we should preach that to all the time. The love of the camp is when Paul Methan came up to me, James, we need you to come over and join this wonderful opportunity. And when Paul says wonderful opportunity, it means work. A wonderful opportunity to be on the board. I go, man, I'm nobody. He goes, yeah, but I could work with that. I remember that first day. They kept on saying, hi, my name is Elder. I go to church. I'm just a member. It was a wonderful thing when we did 25 years ago when I started this with them. We need you guys to come back, and I'm so excited with the camp. The camp has some great speakers. We are going to be, we're back in July, so it's the 12th to the 16th, 12th. We're going to have a game day where we do those carnivals, and it's a Western theme, so bring your boots. You're already wearing them. Good job, brother. Come on over. It's fun for the kids. I was in Southern California, and a young man came up. He was about 21 years old. I can't believe I called him a young man. I am getting older, aren't I? This young man said, oh, well, my favorite part was doing the games and all this stuff. Memories. The camp is going to love memories. Those classes that we have, I mean, we are blessed to have people from all different neck of the wood. One of my favorite one, and he's showing up. I mean, I begged Kerry to have him just because I like picking on him, and he knows how to be picked on back. That's Hy Jones. Raise your hand if you've ever been to Hy Jones class. Man, you need to grab some of those other people and raise their hand and make sure they come. He's entertaining, but he's a gospel man. It's just going to teach you the word, but also make you laugh at the same time. We have Joe Wells. I mean, Joe Wells is another great person. If you ever have a chance, go on the Joe show. And it's on YouTube, or it's on his website. You get to know him. Go on to Tahoe Family Encampment. Check out the speakers. Get excited. And then after you get excited, your challenge is to at least bring 5 other friends. Sir, you in the green, I want you to just bring 2, okay? Just bring 2. If you feel lucky, bring 5 more with you. Here's the problem. We were in Yosemite. In Yosemite, we got kicked out. You guys know why we got kicked out? It was plain and simple. Because we didn't sell alcohol. We lost money on alcohol. Excuse me. They lost money from alcohol. We didn't lose money for alcohol. So they got rid of us because we were too big. We were over, almost 5,000 people. It was glorious. I remember having those days. Well, at Camp Tahoe Valley, it was the alcohol issue again. We had to leave from there. But I'm telling you, Camp Richardson loves us being there. The opportunity for us to continue growing again, it only works with all you guys. So I have hold on. Brother Hooper, can I get you to read Acts 2:44 through 47?
Now all who believed were together and had all things in common, and sold their possessions their possessions and goods, and divided them among all.
Okay, hold on real quick with that, brother. I'm never telling anybody to sell their possessions. But the thing is, gathering together is the point I want to get on that. Will they gather together? Go ahead, brother.
All, as anyone had need. So, continuing daily with one accord in the temple, breaking bread from house to house, they ate their food with gladness and simplicity of heart, praising God and having favor with all the people. And the Lord added to the church daily those who were being saved.
Gathering together as a family, and their numbers got bigger and bigger, right? That's art. I mean, my kids said, okay, so what is your job at the church? I said, well, open up the building and to make sure the building is clean. But to get more people in that building. That's everyone's job. If you don't have a friend, shame on you. Go grab a friend and bring them in here. If you have a family member that used to come to church, if you can't reach them, get one of your brothers to try to reach them. Because we have to grow the church. If not, we're going to slowly wither away. In California, the church I belong to in Marina, which, I don't want this preacher to hear this, so please don't say anything, Mama, but the church is growing because we're starting to get some stability in the church. We have a very good preacher, so if you ever want to come and visit us, please come over to Marina and enjoy yourself. But I want you to go to Tahoe first. If you're going on vacation, you need to go to Tahoe. I don't know how much time I have because I came late, and I could talk here all day long. Okay, we could do 5 minutes. The boldness of preaching the word should come in here, that you love what you stand for. If you look on Channel 2 News for Friday in San Francisco, I had the boldness of stopping a riot. It was in Morgan Hill, California. There's we have this one area where we put our flags up. We also have the cross there. But someone snuck in our group last week and put a swastika up there. It wasn't our group. So what happened is the Antifa people came over, and it got really, really bad. There's like 15 highway patrol officers. All I asked the officer, I want to go across the street and talk to their leader. And they said, no, you can't go over there. I said, well, why not? This is a free country. Why are they over there? We could come over and talk. I just want to talk. If we talk, communicate, we could probably come to something to understand. So the captain comes over. He ended up saying, you want to talk? Let's go. So they brought him over. Myself and I had a conversation. Guess what? We found out it wasn't one of us. It put that swastika up. And it was one of their people who put it up. We have pictures of it. But the gentleman goes, I didn't know that. We talked back and forth, found out we agree on things. And one thing we agreed on? That we prayed before we talked together. I believe that anytime you have the chance to preach the word or talk about the word or give the message, you need to give it up and have enough boldness. Now, on my way out, I did get my window broken out by a rock? I should have drove faster. But the best part was the riot left and there was no violence. And it wasn't because of me. It's because I had the desire for peace. Just like we all should have the desire of sharing the word. Amen. I thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate you guys, and I will see all of you at Tahoe.